It's time now for a look at the day's top business news with Brian Quinn and our business unit, starting with China and Janet Yellen, the US Secretary's visit there in the middle of this 4-day trip. No great surprises, she said, should come out of it, but they are trying to settle trade wars.
Indeed, she arrived yesterday for that 4-day visit. Friday, seeing her meet with several top economic officials, including the chief of China's central bank and its former economy czar Liu He. Well, she's there, of course, trying to ease trade tensions, relations at a decades low between the world's top two economies, as the U.S. imposes strict export controls on high-tech microchips, Beijing retaliating via export controls on key minerals used in chip manufacture. Meanwhile, a recent expansion of China's anti-espionage law has American companies there worried that they may be forced to share all their data with Chinese authorities. Yellen on Friday called for more free market reforms to China's state-planned economy. Speaking with a group of American businesses in Beijing, she said the U.S. is not seeking to decouple its economy from China. She called that virtually impossible. Here's Yellen.
We believe that it's in the best interests of both countries to make sure we have direct and clear lines of communication at senior levels. In the economic realm, regular exchanges with our Chinese counterparts can help us monitor economic and financial risks, and it can help create the conditions for a healthy economic relationship.
Let's get a check on the day's trading action. And now Asian indexes following Wall Street lower as new private payroll data out of the U.S. shows continued stronger than expected hiring there, raising expectations of yet more interest rate hikes from the U.S. Federal Reserve. Samsung shares losing over 2% in Seoul as the company says its second quarter profit is likely to drop by some 95%. The Kospi down nearly 1.2%. Here in Europe, indexes losing a bit of ground at the open after a big sell-off in Thursday's session. The utilities sector in particular lagging. The CAC 40 here in Paris just flat as the FTSE in London loses around 0.4% in early trade. Next, Twitter is threatening legal action against Meta over its new app, Threads. Threads launched on Thursday as a direct competitor to Twitter, which has been losing ad revenue and users following its takeover by Elon Musk last October. Twitter's legal letter alleges that Meta built Threads by hiring dozens of former Twitter employees and misappropriating the company's trade secrets and intellectual property. Liza Kamenov has the details.
It's been launched in 100 different countries and has already reached 30 million users in just one day. Mark Zuckerberg's new social platform is a free conversation-based app that allows users to post texts, photos, and videos. Meta's Threads lets people log in via Instagram in an attempt to bring a huge pool of users to the platform.
Have very intelligently recognized that they can port over, essentially shift over existing Instagram users to this new service rather than having to create a so-called ecosystem of users from the start.
The app shares many features with Twitter and is being presented as an alternative platform. Meta's boss even tweeted for the first time in 11 years, posting this famous image, joking about the similarities between the two. Threads is largely based on the design of its competitor, not just in the way it works, but also in its name, Threads, a reference to the series of posts one can add to one's original tweet on Twitter. But this resemblance has not been taken lightly by rival Elon Musk. The Twitter CEO warned in a tweet that competition is acceptable, but cheating is not. The social media platform is even threatening legal action against Mark Zuckerberg's company.
Twitter intends to strictly enforce its intellectual property rights and demands that Meta take immediate steps to stop using any Twitter trade secrets or other highly confidential information.
Meta has also been accused of recruiting dozens of former Twitter employees who had previously been fired by Elon Musk. It denies this and is now waiting approval from Brussels for Threads to enter the European market.
Finally, for business, Uber Eats, DoorDash, and other delivery companies are suing New York City over a law that sets minimum wages for food delivery workers. The legislation comes into effect next week. It will require the company to either pay workers 50 cents per minute on a trip or pay them a minimum wage of just under $18 per hour. Companies say the per-minute rate could end up being significantly higher than the minimum wage set for other industries. Workers are currently paid per trip, though DoorDash has recently said that it would begin giving its drivers the option of hourly pay. So big changes afoot in the gig economy, both in the U.S. and here in Europe, Gavin.
Brian, thank you. Brian Quinn from our business unit.